You know, you would think that if the entire internet banded together, started Gamergate 2.0, and completely denounced Sweet Baby Inc. and all the other individual consulting companies like them, the game developers would start to take a back seat and be like, you know what? Probably now is not the time to throw our lot in with them, but lo and behold, the lead writer for Borderlands 3 has come out in support of Sweet Baby Inc. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and we're going to get into this because it is quite an amazing story brought to us by Grums and Packer Girl, because they've just been at the forefront of bringing great coverage and information about this as of late. Before we get into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, and with Sweet Baby Inc. Gamergate 2 being the hot topic, one that doesn't look like it's going to die anytime soon, I feel like it needs to be talked about. Hit the button and let's get into this. Grum saying, did the full moon come out tonight? Borderlands 3 lead writer defends Sweet Baby Inc. I want to give special attention to Packer Girl. Make sure you guys, follow her, like her stuff, because she's been doing incredibly fantastic coverage of this. But not just this, she actually specializes in a lot of anime and localizing related content. But she says Gearbox's narrative director and Borderlands 3 lead writer Sam Winkler is attacking Gearbox's customer base in the name of Sweet Baby Inc. And to be fair, that's what he's doing. If you're one of these lead writers, if you're working on the game like this, like Borderlands 3, or really any game that is a big AAA game that is marketed to the vast majority of gamers, it's best to not attack the gamers that are going to buy your games, especially now with games being $70 and us being in an economic recession. But what did he actually say? Well, he's responding to this right here. A good narrative writer of any skin color can write a good character with another skin color without needing consultants. If your studio can't do that, get a better writer. And I would say also writers, probably, because, we all know multiple writers work on these games. And you know what? That's a totally fair sentiment. That is a completely fair and honest belief to have, because if you are truly the type of individual, whether you're in writing or any sort of artistic craft, let's say you're a painter. I believe a good painter, regardless of race, should be able to paint someone of a different race. Why is writing any different? At the end of the day, it is art, and if you are good at your art, why are you focusing on immutable characteristics like skin color? Or you can extrapolate it out further to people of different religions, different, sexes, different, sexual orientations, really anything that might not be like you, that you might not have an innate gravitational towards in terms of growing up around it, but through learning, through experience, through your own, just life pathways, you've got a good idea of how to do it. But Sammy Boy here says, I see this argument all the time against DEI and consultancy, and it just highlights the total misunderstanding of what being a good writer is. You don't somehow max out your stats and learn how to write every conceivable character, plot, or prose style. Well, no one is making that argument. We're saying that if you make that argument based on immutable characteristics, like, someone's skin color or their sexual orientation, then you're a bad writer, which is 100% accurate. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm some, authored writer who's penned many a best-selling novel. I will tell you, I did, toy around with writing my own comic book, and it's one that I've been working on for quite a while, and well before any of this DEI stuff. In fact, this is a project that I had been working on all the way back in 2012, and my main characters were a pair of siblings, adopted siblings. One was a female white girl with blonde hair, and the other was her adopted little brother who was a 15-year-old young black boy. Now, mind you, I am not, but believe it or not, by looking at me, a young black boy or a young white woman. But that being said, I felt like I could accurately write both of these characters because I wrote about what was on the inside, and that's what the vast majority of writers do. They'll take a character, they'll take an idea they have, and they'll focus on their goals, their desires, the things they're looking forward to, the things they want to do with their lives, the things that haunt them, the things that hurt them, and all these individual human elements, human character struggles that every single person on Earth will go through, regardless of these immutable characteristics, regardless of what you see, visually up front, regardless of what you look at and just immediately assume. I'm gonna be real. I don't walk up to any black person and think, oh, they must be from the hood because they're black. If someone did that, yeah, you know what? Bad writer. However, if you have a conversation with somebody who's black and you're white, and you talk to them about their political ideologies or how they grew up, you're going to note that's very different than the next person you talk to who might also be black. It's not just like all of them are the same. However, like right here, Sam wants to, he basically makes it out like all black people are the same, all white people are the same, all Asians are the same. That's the level of I put so much emphasis on race that's coming across in his writing. Knowing what you can't or aren't ready or aren't the right person to write something is one of the chief skills of a pro writer. Ideally, you have a team that can cover all your bases, but if you have a gap, you hire an outside expert, just like literally any fucking other industry. Now, this is interesting because don't most novelists work alone. Like, I get it. Sometimes you treat a novel like it's, like it's a rap music, like it's a rap song, and you get, a featured artist. I know James Patterson's written books, like, with other authors, for example. But in general, what would make writing, for a novel different than writing for a video game, minus the structure? Like, how you write characters and how you write story beats would still be the exact same. So why is it that novelists can write a vast, sometimes several novels in a series with multiple characters, all of differing skin colors, races, ethnicities, all of different ideologies, and yet that one writer can make that whole thing come together in a cohesive package, but video game writers can't, especially when you have a whole team? Again, I get it. This is true. Any industry has consultants. Almost every industry has consultants. But usually it's consultants for something that physically make the product better. It doesn't have to do with ideology. And then Sam says, just further evidence that 99.99% of the people spewing this shit have never created a single thing in their lives that they're proud of, and the rest are just straight up bigots. And that's the part that rubs people the wrong way. Because you know what? You could honestly say, you could take what he said in these first two parts and be like, you know what? I can see him making a point. But then you get to the end where he calls people bigots or say that they don't know what they're doing and that they aren't proud of any of the art they've created. And you're like, oh, okay, he's doing exactly what everybody else, Sweet Baby Inc., IGN, Kotaku, all these other individuals are doing, which is saying you disagree with me ideologically, therefore you must be a terrible person. My virtue is real, it is true, I have a moral superiority to you, and probably an intellectual superiority as well, when that is not the case in the slightest. And of course, he was getting dunked on. I saw a lot of people talking about it, but I want to highlight Cult Classic Cage, because rather than use the screenshot, my girl here, she quote tweeted his actual tweet. She says, "You should be the last one talking about good writing after Borderlands 3. And you know what? Borderlands 3 is the one that's looked upon by the actual general fan base of Borderlands as the weakest narratively in the series. But I decided to comb through the dude's actual, the people who responded to him. Oh, and very, very rarely do you get anybody taking a side here. We got Savvy Artist. Can you explain why a good writer wouldn't be able to write someone who looks different than them for a story? How does a writer know when they are ready to write a character who looks different than they do? I love that she called back out to that, because he literally said, I don't know if it's in, let's take a look right here. Yeah, knowing you aren't ready, or aren't the right person to write something is one of the chief skills of a pro writer. Well, yeah, when do you find out? Like, what is the blessing that tells you when you are ready? It's a very interesting concept. Is there like a hard line? Do you come to learn it gradually? Something you probably can't answer, because much like everything else, it's incredibly subjective. Matt R. Live says, looks like I won't be buying anything from you guys anymore. RIP. And there it is. You see a customer here. You see a potential customer, one of probably many hundreds, thousands, who would have paid $70 for your game, that because of your stupidity on social media, because of you not being able to keep your mouth closed, you keep from jacking your jaw, you lost a customer. And I'm sure Gearbox is happy about that. I'm sure the fact that they are now going to be missing out on multiple customers, I bet you money Matt R. Live here, and the only one who's going to be doing this, they're now upset, or if they care at all, they might very well do what a lot of companies do, which is throw their hands up and say, like, well, we don't need the money of bigots, despite the fact that none of these people are bigots, and that's what causes companies to go under, hence the moniker of get woke, go broke. We got Joel Berry here. The problem is you don't have to be a skilled or experienced writer to recognize when a story is poorly written, or as we've seen recently, written by evil people. Now that's a direct reference to Sweet Baby Inc. if I hadn't heard one. Damn, glad I didn't buy Borderlands 3. Good on you, Tribat. This is a really long one. We got, this is a very good one. This is from Macro Art. Thinking you need consultants to write black people is a good sign you're racist. Black people are not mysterious or unknowable. They're just people. You write a character, then you make their skin black. That's what I'm talking about. That's what, when you talk about fundamental human truths, almost all humans throughout all history have gone through some sort of journey. That's why we have the archetype in fiction of the hero's journey. It does not matter if you take Luke Skywalker and you palette swap him. If Star Wars had come out, in the 70s with Luke Skywalker being black instead, and you gave him the exact same hero's journey, his skin color wouldn't matter, because it is about that journey, and there's a reason that we use that as an archetypal writing function, and have for literally thousands of years. The hero's journey dates back to like ancient Greece, if I recall. So the fact of the matter is, Micro Art's entirely correct here. You just write somebody who is a fundamental human that follows human truths, human wants, human desires, And then you choose there. Now, obviously, you're going to have characters like, oh, hey, this person is from Japan. Well, maybe some of the Japanese culture, very entrenched in, their character writing. Okay. So you do your research. You research Japanese culture. Maybe they're from the 1800s. You'll research the Meiji era of Japan. It's not like you have to hire someone Japanese to write a Japanese character. I cannot understand this level of thinking, and apparently neither can so many others, because he continues to get dunked on. I genuinely struggled to find people in his own comment section who actually agreed with him. Considering your work, I'd say you probably low-rolled your writing stats and should have outsourced all of it. Here we go. Anna did agree, sort of. I'd like to think this person, talking about the original writer that the homeboy was responding to, is actually advocating for way more diverse writers' rooms from the jump. So true, bestie. Hire diverse writers as full-time staff, not just consultants when the need arises. So Anna here is actually asking for more DEI, but yeah, well, whatever. This is what, the first one that's agreed with him, and we're quite a ways into the comment section. You wrote Borderlands 3, the game with, in my opinion, the single worst writing in the series. You really don't have a lot of room to speak here. Or we got Chris. Borderlands 3 and Tiny Tina's writing was disliked by a majority of its player base. This is also accurate. I know many Borderlands fans that are not fans of Borderlands 3. In fact, Nerd Wars said so on Saturday Night Hypnosis just last night. Why in the world are you giving your input here? Now, Scotty here. Scotty decides to take it a bit of a sarcastic route, and I do believe he's agreeing with the original poster. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. I have reached the apex of the craft, as evidenced by my sincere belief that I can do anything and have no weakness. But then the Dak side, I know, and now we know why Borderlands 3 was shit. Having committees write games and movies never goes well, and DEI always turns things to shit. I mean, guys, this just goes on and on. Like, the homeboy could not catch a break, again, in his own Twitter comments. These are people that hypothetically are his followers. I mean, he only had like 400 something likes. How many followers does he have here? I can check real quick. I don't really need to share my screen for that, but how many followers does Sam Winkler have? Almost 6,000, and yeah, 400 likes. I mean, to be fair, that's actually not a bad ratio, but the fact of the matter is, all these individuals that follow him, most of them either aren't commenting on this or aren't agreeing. Why aren't they commenting? Or because they disagree. Because it's such an asinine mentality to have. It is so bass-backwards to decide, as a game developer, I'm going to throw my hat in with the individuals that are the customers that are against what is common industry practice at this point and has been displayed as such. And we have over 300,000 people on the Sweet Baby Inc. detected page. I mean, you're getting close to 500,000 at that point. And you think that as a business decision, it makes sense to weigh in on this when you were the one that pinned, or at least were partially to blame for pinning what is considered one of the worst games in your series from a narrative structure? I don't understand. It's clear why these individuals are writers. Because they got no business acumen. These aren't the investors. These aren't the people who are doing the startups. These aren't the ones who are managing the money. Nah, they're the artistic individuals that think, oh, look at my virtues. I can do no wrong. Look at my morals. I'm so artistically inclined. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're artistically inclined, if we can call you that. But it goes to prove you got no sense of how money works, of how economics works, and of how fans are very quick to turn on your art if you decide to do something that goes against their core beliefs and their fundamental ideologies. I truly, at this point, if these game developers would do the world a favor and just shut the fuck up, maybe the gaming industry would actually get back on track. Now, mind you, they'd have to, cut all the ideology, DEI, woke, bullshit that's been going on in their games for the last half decade to a decade now. But it would still be a start if they would at least just not talk about their beliefs on social media. That would go a long way, because once social media came about and gave all these high-profile individuals the opportunity to interact with the common folk realized, oh, these dudes we put on a pedestal? They're pretty fucked up. A lot of them definitely don't deserve the praise that we gave them when we just heard their name in some mystical, ethereal shadow world. And you love to see it. You love to see everyone turning on idiots like this that plain and simply want one thing. They want to buy good games. And I guess you could say they want a second thing. They don't want to be preached to. Hopefully Sam learns that lesson, but something tells me he's going to double, triple, quadruple down, or just go on a block spree. I highly doubt you'll see Sam Winkler appearing on, podcasts or live shows of the opposition, of people who are like, hey, let's have a conversation in good faith. I would appreciate it, that's what he did, but that's probably not what's going to happen. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, not only about the Sweet Baby Inc. and Gamergate 2 stuff, but since that's the talk of the town right now, the channel focuses a lot on that. But by all means, hit the button. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon. Become a member for $4.99. You can join the Discord. You get to choose videos for me to react to on stream, choose the articles that I cover on a day-to-day basis, and use discount code VitalIdol. Get yourself some Words of Paradise merch, like a mug or a t-shirt. Rep it on Twitter. Tag me in it. I'd love to see it. But until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.